Welcome to this short video. I'm going to do two things right now. I'm going to show you how to get to the PTU, set yourself up for it. And then in the second half of this video, I'm going to do a specific discussion about 3.14, wave 1 and the future waves. And it may be applicable, it may not be if you're watching this in the future. But the first part is applicable evergreen. It's going to be forever. So you find yourself inside the Star Citizen loader. Usually you see this live, you see the ready to launch game or install button or such. The first thing we're going to do is actually a little unconventional. We're going to go to settings. We're going to go find your library folder. And the easiest way to get there is hit change. And then I like to just right click here. But because we're in a video, I'm going to make this a little simpler so I can see it's in my C drive. I have named this library folder RSI Bedrock, but I believe it just is usually listed as RSI or Robert Space Industry by default. You can change the name to whatever you'd like once you go into this change section to tell it whatever folder you'd like to throw the live folder into. Now, when you're in the PTU, when it's active, there is a second folder. So I want you to understand that there is a set of folders that this is accessing. And when we go into this RSI Bedrock, this is that folder. There is a Star Citizen folder within that. We click on that. Here is your live folder. So that's what we were viewing before. When you hit launch game, this is where it would be going. And then here is the other folder that it wants to add for the PTU. So what you're going to do is you're going to double click on live. And don't worry, you're not going to hurt anything because all we're doing is we're going to copy everything here. Right click, copy. Okay. Click back to Star Citizen or hit the back button, whichever you prefer. And if you do not have a PTU folder, which you probably won't, we would create a new folder and we would type in PTU. In my case, I can't add that because I already have a PTU folder. So just imagine that I made a PTU folder here. Okay, now this folder will be empty when you make that new folder. If it is already there and it is not empty, it is likely an old PTU copy. You'll see the date modified as significantly older if it was an old copy. So we're going to go in there, and this you're actually going to play with. And understand, you're not going to impact your live game in any way, shape, or form. PTU, if there is something in here, you would right click and delete this. In my case, I am not because it's up to date with PTU Wave 1 for 3.14. But if this was empty, I would just paste. If this was not empty, I would highlight everything, delete, and then right click paste. If somehow you lose track of that copy, you can always go back to Star Citizen folder, go back to live, and copy. Feel free to pause this video to slow it down and kind of work through the steps because it's very important you are not deleting anything in the live folder. It won't destroy anything. You won't lose a ship or anything weird like that. That's all saved on the website. But it is something where you would have to re-download everything if you lost your live copy. And that's like, well, let's take a look. So why are we doing it this way? If you look at the live folder, it's 66.6 gigabytes at this moment in 3.14, 3.13.1 iteration for live. And then it's like 66 gigs as well, I think, on the PTU, 68 gigs on the PTU iteration for 3.14 and Wave 1 as candidate. So, this is not Evo stuff. This is not Evo stuff. This is a PTU copy. I am in Wave 1. And the most important difference is with the PTU, you're saying, well, wait a minute, you're just copying over the old information. You're going to start your download and install from that 66 gigabytes of data from the live, and once it gets transferred to the PTU folder. So you've done all of that. You have copied your live files. You have deleted your old PTU or pasted in the files from the live that are in an empty folder, one or the other, right? There's nothing else you need to do in here. I'm going to leave it up, but you get the point. we're going to go back to our launcher. Now, it is best practice, once you do this, to close this launcher. I would recommend it. You close it, and then in the bottom right, you would go into the toolbar and right-click Exit, just in case something's different, etc. Some people say don't bother with that. I don't know. That's just a thought. Sometimes reloading the launcher can help. Anyway, we now have our copy in live, is also copied over to the PTU. So we're going to use this drop down, right, to go and update the game. There's one more step, and it is not here. This is one of the reasons I think a lot of folks have so many issues getting into the PTU, is because it's kind of convoluted. There is a player account that has to be copied over as well. So your files get copied over, your update needs to be made, which you can be doing, by the way, in the background. So you could have this running, the update, because it'll still be a couple gigs, maybe 2 or 3 gigabytes, maybe even a little bit more, maybe 6 gigabytes. One thing to note is it does not actually take up that much space because it's replacing a lot of files as well. So bear that in mind. Like if you see like a big file, you're like, oh my goodness, 9 gigabytes. Do I even have the storage space? Well, you probably don't even need to worry about that because 5 of those gigs are going to be replacing known files that are going to be updated and changed. So just some food for thought on that. So we have made your copy. We are updating your game to the PTU. When you see this drop down and you hit the install, there'll be a big button down here for install or update or something like that. And it'll be running this big bar. While we're waiting, you can then hit the official site button. And we will go over to the official site account. Oh my goodness. You guys now know my secret. You know I have $1.50 in store credit. But in the PTU, this is a process right here. So you saw where I went. I went to account. I went to settings. And I went to PTU. It's actually glowing, believe it or not. I'm going to do it one more time just for the heck of it. But you can always just pause the video as well. But account, settings, PTU. That's all you have to worry about. This will not impact your live game in any way. I've had people who I had one person who contacted me. He was like, "Hey, I've got 110 million UEC. If I go through this process, copying or erasing accounts or something on the live, will it impact my live server?" And the answer is absolutely not. And also, when you jump into PTU, you won't have that 110 million UEC. Most likely, it will erase that and place in a new amount. In this PTU Wave 1 for 3.14, for example, there is 15 million in free UEC. I am not sure if it gives you the UEC from your live account as well as that 15 mil, or if it simply overwrites the number. Do not panic. Your live account is safe. You will never, ever, ever, ever have anything from your hangar or from what you've purchased in the live or anything like that impacted by your PTU account. And conversely, nothing that you establish and achieve and grind in the PTU will be able to be taken over to the live server. So just remember that as well. If you're doing hauling missions or something else, you're probably going to want to be in the live server unless you're just testing it out like, hey, I want to know how this Constellation Taurus, in our case for the 3.14, the Constellation Taurus is a very desirable ship to test out right now. I want to know how it handles. I want to know how it handles for hauling. Can it do certain things? There you go. But if you're going to grind out for a couple hours and you're going to play some tunes and just start running back and forth, loads of slam, you're going to want to do that in the live server. So you actually get some progress. And you can purchase ships and keep those purchased or rented ships, if you rent it for 30 days or et cetera, if you purchase the ship. And you have it basically forever until a persistence wipe, which I haven't seen one in a long time. I know multiple viewers have reported they've lost modules and things like that with major patches. I have not had that in a while. I know it does happen. I know it can happen. I haven't seen ships lost in a very, very, very long time. Clothing seems to come and go, but ships I have not seen happen. Anyway, so when you're in this section, you would go to the PTU 3.14 in this case. It doesn't matter if you're viewing this number as a different number, it's still okay. You're in the future. Hello from the past. Hope the weather's nice. And you will be clicking copy account to PTU. Do not panic if you accidentally hit the wrong button, because you won't even probably have this if you are not actually already over the PTU. But if you do see this button or not, ignore it. Just hit copy. Only do this once. As it explains here, please don't do this like crazy. They don't like it when you try to copy over multiple times, or you're annoyed that it's not going over fast enough. Even with the 3.14 Wave 1 launch, within less than 10 minutes, I got the email saying it came over. And you don't even have to wait for the email. Like, you don't have to like hit accept or something on the email. You don't even have to go into your email. Like, you can just literally go get a coffee, go make yourself a snack, come back, and it's going to be ready. I've never had a problem with the PTU taking time. I'm sure somebody has, but you've done everything you need to do. You can now close this window. One last thing I wanted to mention while we're on the website. Whatever you have in your account at the moment you hit copy that is able to be taken to the next patch goes with it. So if you purchased a ship or you want to test a CCU'd vessel, I would recommend applying the CCU before you make that copy button. And I would even, dare I say it, wait like 5 minutes just so the servers all catch up. This is just an anecdotal thing. I have no evidence to support this, but it seems like it takes a couple minutes for the servers to register CCU applications and other hangar changes sometimes. I have seen it when I clicked it too fast and then immediately alt-tabbed and unloaded the game. It seems like things haven't been where I wanted them to be. So just for your own sake, because it's a real pain to do this copy system again, and it's not recommended to do multiple copies, get all your ducks in a row before you jump in here. So go into your My Hangar, apply any CCUs you want to apply, purchase any ships you want to purchase, or, buy back anything you want to buy back, and then go into the PTU strong with that additional ship. A couple minutes later, I would hit the copy button. Just a little thought. So you have now made your account, copied over. You had the files transferred earlier. We should be golden. So when you come back to this, you'll pretty much be staring, if you have good internet, you'll be staring at a launch game. And if you have okay internet, you'll be very soon staring at a launch game button. And that's where I'm going to leave you. So on this guide, I guess I'll call it, you can jump back and forth now between live and PTU. This window is not necessary, by the way. I just have it up just for the sake of it's relevant, I guess. You'll notice that both files are here, PTU and live. You can jump between them at will. You can see that the version number below gives you a dead giveaway if you don't notice this. The eagle-eyed among you will notice that there's a specific patch number behind 3.13.1. It's like live 7491200. You'll notice a lot more of those when you start jumping between PTU and live, because there will be more of those build revisions that matter. In the PTU, it is very common to see multiple build revisions kicked in the same week. Unlike live. Live is a far more stable patch. It's had months of testing in many cases. And yes, there are some issues, of course. It's alpha. But you will see a lot more of that stuff in PTU. Content creators, I would recommend that you, if you're recording video, to wait until you load in your characters sitting in their bed or in their ship or wherever you're at, whatever you want to do, whatever you're doing, and just wait about 30 seconds. And then kick your recordings on. And remember to do short recordings. Instant replay is your friend, because there's going to be like these weird glitches. You're going to want to have to edit out of your content if you want to do like pretty content, or for example, Orison is the big hot topic in 4.3.14. So doing these beautiful skyscapes, and then you see like a glitched out cloud, or you see a player that's like, got a hammerhead sitting upside down in the clouds. You're not going to want that in your shot. So having these short instant replay where you just tap the hotkey to save the last 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever you want, is probably your friend here. Also, if you're doing longer recordings, like you're saying, okay, I'm going to record a full gameplay. Like I'm doing that myself. I'm doing a series on 3.14 PTU. One of the biggest things you're going to want to remember is don't forget about saving constantly. Stop and save constantly. Even if you had to, hum "Stop and Stare" the song or something. I always think "Stop and Stare," but constantly save because you will have crashes. Remember to submit your crash reports. They greatly help the community out. If you have something that happens multiple times, make sure that makes it to the issue council. And that's not just for content creators. We're all responsible here. If you've wondered, like, if you're listening to this and you're in like PTU wave only when everybody's allowed, and you're wondering, why am I that? Well, there's a couple factors to getting into the higher waves of PTU. It's the longevity of your account, the fact if you're a backer or not, like you literally have a game account. In some cases, you need to be a backer. You have some type of game package, not just a ship, a game package of some sort, even the lowest ones. It's okay. And also your activity level. So if you're constantly reporting in IC and you're submitting your crash reports, you will find that your wave mysteriously goes up and up and up beyond what your friends get. Another cheat code to get up in the ranks is to join concierge through spending money or spending money on a lower scale on subscription. If you know there's a big patch coming up and you're a content creator, for example, or you're just somebody who really likes to be an early adopter, subscribing for a month or two wouldn't hurt. It gets you up in the ranks on that, and it also evens the playing field if you're a content creator. If you're brand new to the game, you can easily get to the same places people have been here for years. I'm an original backer, and I'm concierge, I'm a subscriber. I check all the boxes, and I'm still just wave one. I'm not anything special. Once you hit that level, you'll understand. It's just I get in slightly faster than other people in some cases. And that's not always. Sometimes they just roll out PTU to everybody. And I strongly suspect 3.14 has so much hype and energy behind it, they will move the waves very quickly on this. I suspect within days, there will be a vast jump in the number of people able to experience 3.14. And I hope that's the case. That's why I'm making this content. It's not really for me to make, show off how cool I am. It's more showing I want to see your creative side. I would love to see a lot of the community become, content creators themselves. And I believe everyone truly is. It's just finding that niche, finding what they're interested in. That's just all I had to say about that. I just wanted to add that little spice at the end of this. And finally, if you messed up something, if you're like, oh my goodness, I've deleted everything, it's the end of the world, don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you don't want to say it in public on YouTube, the comment section, I totally respect that and understand that. As always, I'm available on Discord at RedJay, #0001, or below you can see a direct link to the Orions.pro Discord server. We're pretty active in there. I know that it's got a lot of channels. We're currently working on consolidating the text-based channels, and we play other games as well, so just beware of that. But it's a good group of folks over there, and you're always welcome. And that'll do it for me today. Please, please, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to take this a step farther, and please share this video with your friends and org mates if it helped you out. And if anything, not to help me, but it'll help you get a lot less questions, hopefully. And if you see a glaring error, please also add into the comments below. I'll be sure to pin that up to the top. I appreciate those things. I don't take them. I take them in stride, and I try to improve my videos, especially anything technical like this, where we're trying to help the community become stronger and be able to enjoy the new content. That'll do it. You guys have a wonderful day.